Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Today I will teach you about intonation in WH questions. We have already studied some intonation patterns in the previous modules, so this video will help you review and connect all that knowledge. Today we'll look at how the tone of your voice changes in this kind of question and how it can completely change the meaning or attitude of what you say. Throughout the video, I will also give you clear examples so you can listen, repeat, and practice using the right intonation. So make sure to stay until the end to take your intonation to the next level. Let's start. WH questions are those that start with words such as who, what, which, when, where, why, and how. And they ask for more specific information than just yes or no. Let's look at some examples. Where's my knife? It's on the table. Why are you complaining? Because nobody is listening to me. When did it get broken? When I dropped it on the floor. Now, the default tone for a WH question is falling. Remember that the default tone refers to the usual or most common tone we will use. A falling tone means your voice goes down at the end of the sentence. Let's listen to some more examples.
2.12. When did you arrive? Who's that? Which is the shift key?
We call this tone meaning the definitive fall. But don't you think that the definitive fall sounds a little bit serious or as if you were annoyed? What happens if you want to sound more friendly? That is when we use the encouraging tone. We use this tone when we want to make the question sound gentle, polite, encouraging, or sympathetic. With a rising tone, your voice goes up at the end of the sentence. Let's compare these two sentences. What's your name? What's your name? Can you notice the difference? The first one sounds strong and direct, while the second one sounds more kind and open. This rising tone is what we call the encouraging rise, and it shows interest or concern and helps the speaker sound more friendly. You can also use the fall rise tone if you want to sound caring or uncertain, like when you are not sure about something. For example, when did it get broken? Here we use the fall rise to show that we are surprised or even worried. Notice how your voice goes down a little and then up again. That small change gives emotion to your speech. Okay, it's time to do a quick activity. You will hear two versions of the same question, one with a falling tone and one with a rising tone. Listen carefully and try to guess which one is which. What time's the flight? What time's the flight? Could you notice the difference? Which one is falling and which one is rising? Okay, I will show you now the correct answer. The first one is falling and the second one is rising. Let's do another activity. Now you are going to repeat after me, first with a falling tone and then with a rising tone. Where are you living? Where are you living? Okay, now the second one. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, great job. To sum up, most WH questions use a falling tone to sound firm and serious, and we call this tone the definitive fall. But sometimes a WH question can also use a rising or a fall rise tone to sound more polite, friendly, or caring, and that is called the encouraging rise. But remember that intonation is not only about pitch, because it also shows attitude, emotion, and intention. So keep practicing by listening to native speakers, repeating the examples, and paying attention to how their tone goes up and down, and you'll see how your intonation makes your English sound clearer, more expressive, and more natural. Okay, that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.